Ever feel like sleeping in on the weekend is the ultimate cure for a stressful week? You're not alone, and science just found something interesting about this habit. But here's the catch that surprises most people. A little extra sleep may help reduce anxiety, but overdoing it can actually make things worse. Let's unpack what's really going on with weekend sleep routines and teen mental health. For many teenagers, Saturdays are a sacred time for catching up on rest after a demanding week packed with early mornings, homework, and non-stop activities. So when the weekend arrives, it's tempting to sleep for as long as possible. Sleep is fundamental for both mind and body, especially during adolescence, a phase of rapid development. Unfortunately, roughly 75% of teens in America fall short of the recommended 8 to 10 hours of nightly sleep. Biological factors are at play here too. A teen's natural circadian rhythm often keeps them up past 11 p.m., clashing with early school start times and making quality rest even harder to achieve. Given all this, you might assume grabbing long stretches of extra sleep on weekends is a healthy way to make up for lost hours. Yet, past research paints a complicated picture. Too much variance between weekday and weekend sleep can potentially harm mental health, with some earlier studies hinting at links to depression. Yet, these studies hadn't looked closely at anxiety, a gap that caught the interest of Sojong Kim, a clinical psychology graduate student at the University of Oregon. Here's what Kim did. She tapped into the Adolescent Brain Cognitive Development Study, a massive, long-term project tracking brain growth in thousands of young people across the U.S. Kim focused on nearly 1,900 participants aged 12 to 15, a time when sleep tends to become a real struggle. Each teen wore a Fitbit to track their sleep and activity patterns, while also answering surveys about anxiety and depression symptoms. The results? Teens who enjoyed up to 2 extra hours of weekend sleep showed the lowest levels of anxiety. Remarkably, those who didn't sleep in at all, or lost even more sleep, reported greater anxiety. But here's where it gets controversial. The teens who slept more than 2 extra hours exhibited the highest anxiety scores of all. That uptick in anxiety wasn't just emotional. It showed up in symptoms like neck tension, excessive worrying, fear, and guilt. Kim presented these findings at the Sleep 2025 conference in Seattle, stirring conversation among sleep researchers. Christopher Depner, a University of Utah expert not involved in Kim's study, noted, "This research points to a possible connection between moderate weekend sleep and reduced anxiety, although more studies are needed to be certain." He highlighted an important limitation. Kim's work was observational. Unlike controlled experiments, observational studies simply watch what happens naturally, without assigning groups different sleep regimens. This means we can't yet say for sure if the extra sleep caused the changes in anxiety, or merely showed a pattern that needs deeper investigation. And this is the part most people miss. Why does going over that 2-hour limit seem to make things worse? Kim suspects the culprit is something scientists call social jet lag. Just like jet lag, this effect disrupts our biological clocks when there are big swings in sleep schedules, making us feel groggy and mentally fuzzy. While Kim's study didn't directly examine social jet lag, it's a possible mechanism that could explain why more isn't always better when it comes to weekend sleep. Interestingly, Kim's findings didn't show a clear tie between weekend catch-up sleep and depression. She thinks age might be the reason. Depressive symptoms tend to emerge later in adolescence, whereas anxiety issues can begin when teens are younger. Her future research will focus on older teens to see if the results change. So, what should teens and their parents take away from all this? According to Kim, getting a bit of extra sleep on the weekend may help ease anxiety, but don't overdo it, or the benefits could vanish. Now for some controversy. Is there really a one-size-fits-all sleep schedule for everyone? Or could these findings shift depending on culture, school schedules, or technology habits? Let us know what you think. Have you noticed a difference in your mood when you sleep in, a little or a lot? Do you think the risks of social jet lag are overrated, or is more research badly needed? Share your experiences and weigh in on the debate in the comments.